It's Beer O'Clock on Reload Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Fuller's Brewery and it's a bottle of their Brewer's Reserve Oak Aged Ale. It's number 5 in the series. It's 8.5% ABV and it's been aged for 500 days. So that's about 1 year and 3 months. I'm really pleased to have this in my hand. I've had the privilege to drink the first 4 on the channel, but last year, it was either last year or the year before, they decided to miss out on number 5 and they brewed the Imperial Stout instead. So it's great that they've gone back to this series. I was a massive fan of this series for the last 4 beers. I went out and purchased this beer myself. It cost me £10 English. But yeah, I really wanted to look at that. Oh, and let me show you very, very quickly. Not sure if you can see it. Yes, you might be able to see it. So, can you see all of these little bits of paper on the door? Them bits of paper are these bits of paper that they actually put on the bottle. So, I'm going to carefully take off number 5. There you go. I'm going to lay it down flat or stick it to the side of the box. There you go. And I'm going to put it on my door later on. So this is bottle number 5498. Should we get it out into a glass, see what we get? There's the bottle cap. Here we go then. Nice bit of smoke on the opening. And I gotta be honest, it's nice to get my Fuller's glass out. It's the very end of 2016. And this is the first Fuller's beer that I've reviewed all year. This is the first beer right at the end of 2016. And it's very, very unlike me. Whether or not they've just got their kind of core range now that they're concentrating on bottling, because it's very difficult to get cask Fullers up here in Wales. But yeah, end of 2016, it's very unusual for me not to drink a Fuller's beer in a year. So on that front, cheers. Beer in the glass is a 1 finger, slightly off white head. It looks wonderful. Look at that. Look at the quality on that lovely cherry mahogany coloured ale. Lovely, even, slow to medium moving carbonation. The beer is clear as a bell. That's lovely. Let's get the aroma. Oh, there's sweet cherry toffee mixed with some dry oak from the casks, the whiskey casks, mixed with some lovely hints of, as Fuller's have put it, fine old whiskey. Should we dive in? Cheers, everyone. Oh yeah, smashing beer, Stone the Crows. There's a level of earthiness that just travels through the beer. It's biscuity, it's sweet, hints of whiskey. Now my biggest concern with anything that's whiskey barrel aged, I'm not a fan of whiskey. So it has to be just a touch of whiskey for me. And the majority of beers generally are touches of whiskey, but I've had 1 or 2 in the past that have been criminally full of whiskey and almost undrinkable. The beer is more or less more whiskey than it is beer. But this is all beer. with a touch of whiskey and a little touch of oak in the background in the taste. It's quite a medium mouthfeel also. A little creamy. There's some, the carbonation is nice enough to push the beer on the inside of the mouth. Somehow there's a small touch of licorice mixed with a small touch of vanilla. And I'm sure the vanilla's come from that kind of, that whiskey and that oak. It's just kind of just matured that way, I suppose. But the licorice, I'm not sure how that has managed to get into the beer, but it's not massive, but it's just a touch of licorice. There's some plum, there's some fig, there's a little bit of raisin, nice sweetness to it, biscuitiness to it. It's just making me want to just chill and calm and just sit in a chair with a log fire next to me in one of Fuller's lovely pubs and just spend an hour with this. Just maybe talking to it, maybe having a small conversation with my lovely beer in my glass. But that's, you know, I want to spend some time with this. I want to cradle it and give it some love, because the beer's giving me some love in return. It's wonderfully put together. It's not rough around the edges at all. As I mentioned earlier, and I really want to get this point across. To put beer in a whiskey barrel and just hope for the best, you're probably asking for trouble. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know kind of how many times the barrel's been used. Do you want a fresh whiskey barrel that's sopping with whiskey on the inside? And it's going to really soak in. It's going to make the beer rough and tough and almost horrible. Or do you want a barrel that's probably a little bit older? It's had some time for that whiskey to evaporate into the air. And then you've thrown your beer in there, and then you've sealed it and maybe give it a little bit of a shake or whatever you do. I have produced an oak aged beer. But I wasn't there to do it. Call Me Simon, the Polish beer I produced, we put it in a whiskey barrel. Or we put it in a rum barrel, I think. But no, this is not about anything that I've brewed today. This is not about me at all, this video. This is all about Fuller's Brewer's Reserve number 5 and just how wonderful it is. I don't think it's a bottle conditioned beer. You don't see many beers from Fuller's being bottle conditioned. But yeah, look at that. That is crazy good in terms of what it looks like, in terms of what it smells like, and in terms of what it tastes like. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Two things I'm going to do now. Probably the same message on the back. If you want to pause the video and read the back of that label, you're very welcome to do so. Shall we do this live on the air? Shall I just show you what I do with these little stickers? Let me show you. So I've got, actually I've number 4. I don't have number 1, but I've definitely done number 1. But I'm gonna have to put this somewhere else. I'm gonna have to put this I'm gonna have to put it sideways. There you go. Maybe they didn't have a sticker for number 1, but There's number 2, there's number 3, there's number 4, there's number 5. Job done. Rating for the beer then. I think this, unless my palate has developed a little bit better over time, adjusted more to whiskey beers maybe, or maybe this is just the best whiskey beer that Fuller's have produced so far. This is right up my street. This is just a touch of whiskey. It's not overly done, and it's very, very fitting for my palate. So rating. From the raisin, from the plum, to the fig, the vanilla, the little touch of licorice that's in there, the lovely roasted malt that's in there. It's a little bit roasty, a little bit. It's wonderful. The touch of whiskey, the whiskey flavour, the oakiness in there. It's a lovely beer. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! And cheers.